Hey, this is Connor Green, and this is my business model canvas for Batch. So we're going to start with value proposition. So Batch was founded out of a venture capital firm that has a what's called an entrepreneur in residence, and their approach to the idea of that shoppers don't just want to see something in a store or like set up on a shelf. They want to live in it. They want to try it. They want to see like if it fits kind of how they want their home to feel. And Batch set out to create that environment, create a home-like environment where everything was for sale. If you saw a coffee table that you loved, you didn't have to be like, oh, is it just for presentation? But you can touch and buy it, and if you like it, you can go home, you can take it home with you, obviously for a cost. And they also wanted to cater to these people who didn't just want the IKEA table. They wanted an up-and-coming brand, something that stands for something unique. And they really chose to fill that gap, and they did so in San Francisco, which is known for being an incredibly progressive city. And so their customer segment are people in their 20s and 30s. These people are likely making six figures or more, just given the fact that a lot of these like smaller brands have pretty expensive materials, and all these people are looking to be on trend. They know they want a chic kind of modern home, but they don't know exactly where to look, and so they go to Batch to find that. The channels, they have a main showroom which showcases around the city that also do a similar thing. And at this main showroom, they also host events to charge crowds. So not just counting on like the standard, like people walk in, but they'll have like a rosé night, or they'll have grill outs or cookouts, stuff like that, to get people in the store, and then kind of they can have a chance to live with the products that they're trying to sell. Their customer relationship. You have a bachelor of retail avenues and a strong social media presence. So one of the first things that she has to do is, like, if you want to follow Batch on Instagram, you kind of see what we have, and a network of developers too. So not only are they selling, but these showrooms around the city are staging opportunities. So in the same way that you would pay $30,000 as a developer, so it's more easy to sell your apartment, you can have Batch do it, and not only when you stage it, but everything that you stage it with is for sale. So if they come in to see the apartment and they buy it, but they also like the table or the couches that go into it, Batch has a fantastic opportunity to make commission off that sale as well. And so they kind of get paid at both ends in the staging opportunity. Revenue stream. So payment for goods featured in the Batch and from apartment unit staging. In addition, some of these small companies actually pay to be in the Batch. So not only are they getting payment off the goods that they sell, but they're getting payment for the goods featured in the Batch itself. In addition, staging, which I think she said was like a $19 billion market, is something that they're trying to get into too. And those usually run like $30,000, $40,000 a time you try and stage it. And that's a great way to kind of expand your brand and your store for really cheap on their part, but then also gain revenue for opening up a new store. And so you'll get key resources. Retail space is extremely important. They have a huge space in San Francisco, and they also have spaces around the city that are really, really important to productivity of their business, and also brand partners. So you can't just find any brand. These people aren't looking for any brand. They want someone that's up and coming, someone that not everybody has. Like maybe these knives aren't like the Chicago cutlery that everybody has in their kitchen, but rather like this kind of unique San Francisco brand or unique brand around the world that they're really looking for. And that's what they really need to seek out and find to provide that extra level of value to their customers. Key partnerships, so relationships with those brands. So you don't just want to kind of like one and done, but you want to have a relationship that fits the portfolio. So each of their batches, which are like several week projects, have a different theme. And you want brands that are in that theme and fit within there, as well as finding developers and brokers that want to host a showcase for their products. So you need connections around the city to people who are building apartments, who are building these upscale properties where Batch customers live, so that way you can host a Batch within their space and you can make sales that way as well. Key activities, so building a new Batch and creating fun events for people coming by. So as someone who wants to get people to buy these home goods, you need to make sure that it's a cool and fun thing to go to a Batch, to make sure that the people who are there are coming to buy, but also coming to have fun, that it's very Instagrammable, that the products that they're buying are really fun and really actually and useful in people's homes. And so that's a really key activity. So you want to build a new Batch, so you want to create these new businesses to partner with, and then you want to make sure that you present them in a really kind of fun and playable way. And then finally, their cost structure. So their main costs are the people. So they need people to recruit, to sell, to find new brands, and to staff their events. And then finally, I think she mentioned their biggest cost is just they have this huge warehouse that they converted in San Francisco. But that is, if everyone knows anything about San Francisco, it's extremely, extremely expensive. And so that's probably the biggest cost that they have to pay month over month. It's just how do we get all of this paid for, and how do we set ourselves up to go forward and present these brands in a way. So are we doing their money justice when they come to us and say, hey, we want to be part of your batch, like, we'll pay you, you can get a commission to sales, but are they doing a good enough jobs to sell? And that's where that cost really comes out. So batch really found this niche where they advanced retail. So they took retail and made it retail as a service. So you're coming to them to say, hey, we don't know how to sell this, but we have a brand, we have a great product. And Batch kind of took that out of our hands, saying we have a great showroom. It makes you feel like it's in your home already, and then they just get to take it home. Let's partner up and figure out how we can make this happen. So with that, that would be the end of